If you want to know the best documentary series, you should definitely watch our picks for the best ones of 2020.
So I'll stay here on this continent, and you go to the other continent.
This bridge allows us to walk from one moving tectonic plate all the way to the other, which is weird if you think about it.
We hope you will enjoy the following ranking. Please let us know your favorite in the comments and make sure to subscribe to never miss a good TV show again.
Number 10. High Score 2020.
And so I sort of saw it as a world, a living, breathing fantasy universe to play as a player.
High Score is a documentary series created by France Kostrel. In this light-hearted depiction of the possibly most famous hobby in modern civilization, we discover the rise of video games and what led to them being a pop cultural phenomenon. Throughout the episodes, we get undeniably interesting and insightful interviews with developers of the earliest video games ever, and how they took part in shaping the industry and hearts of the people forever. Behind the genre, there is truly more to discover than numbers and algorithms.
People are starting to make new graphics and new weapons, new sounds for stuff. It was basically everything that you see in the game can be changed. But we didn't allow anyone to modify Doom if they didn't buy it.
Number 9. Killer Inside: The Mind of Aaron Hernandez 2020.
I said, who the fuck is that? I turned to Mike Branch, and Mike, like a proud father or uncle, Mike's sitting there like, you like him, right?
Killer Inside: The Mind of Aaron Hernandez is a true crime documentary series created by Gino McDermott. This haunting depiction of a real-life psycho gives insight into the twisted mind of former professional football player Aaron Hernandez. We witness how his life evolved over the years, explore the crimes he was suspected to be involved in, and finally uncovers the events that shaped his personality and behavior into what would make him go down in history as a psychopath.
We were supposed to be protected because we were football players. The most vile gangsters in these streets knew not to fuck with us because we were football players. And it's so ironic that a fucking football player that wanted to be a fake fucking gangster killed my boy.
Number 8. I'll Be Gone in the Dark 2020.
And then he told me in my ear, you know, if you scream or move, I will put this knife through your throat, and I'll be gone in the dark.
I'll Be Gone in the Dark is a true crime documentary series created by Liz Garbus, Elizabeth Wolfe, Miles Kane, and Josh Corey. Following the incredibly fascinating premise that the title already teases, I'll Be Gone in the Dark tells the true story of author Michelle McNamara, who spent her night investigating a ruthless murderer while her family slept. Exploring the deepest and most terrifying side of the dark web and humanity itself, it gives voice to the victims of more than 50 rapes and 12 murders.
And I think that was probably, that was really scary, because I thought I was gonna die. And then he was gone.
Number 7. Tiger King: Murder, Mayhem, and Madness 2020.
In my opinion, Carol Baskin was as bad as Joe. They were both, taking advantage of exotic animals to make money.
Tiger King is a true crime documentary series created by Eric Good and Rebecca Chaiklin, inviting you into a series of true events that are more absurd than the real life ever seemed. Tiger King follows a variety of influential and often dangerous personalities that all share one horrifying passion: big cats. A status for attention and dangerous menageries. A hobby like that can quickly end in a bloody nightmare when messing around with nature in a new way.
Carol would now and then put up something online about how Joe's breeding and he's bad and all this, and he would go off on his internet show.
I consider that bitch to be one of the biggest terrorists in the exotic animal world right now. It is financially draining to fight this woman.
Number 6. The Pharmacist 2020.
And he says, okay, he says, I'm pretty sure I can find out which one it is. Okay, and verified that they killed him. Okay.
The Pharmacist is a true crime documentary series created by Lana Barkin and Jenner First, showcasing a rare true crime that seems like a brilliant fictional work. The Pharmacist follows a man broken after the death of his son, who died in a drug-related shooting in New Orleans. Lacking answers and results from the police, he decides to go on his own and find his way of justice. In helping young adults with drug addiction, he tries to escape the past and start over again.
I don't know what world I'm in anymore. I really don't know what world I'm in. For a moment, I actually thought about it. Crazy.
Number 5. Challenger, The Final Flight, 2020.
Utterly impressed and scared to death of the space shuttle. It's just a simple respect for machines that are operating at the very limit of human engineering.
Challenger, The Final Flight is a documentary series created by Stephen Leckert and Glenn Zipper, examining the horrible 1986 flight of the Challenger space shuttle. This 4-part documentary shows the diverse crew that dared to make a great step for mankind. Sadly, the tragedy led to the explosion of the shuttle and the inescapable death of the crew. Now, this haunting piece of film gives deep insight into the human beings behind the hard work and dramatic outcome.
The heavier a spacecraft is, the more energy is required to get to orbit. And the shuttle weighed around 250,000 pounds. You've got to get that going more than 85 football fields a second. And it just turns out that's really hard to do.
Number 4. Night on Earth, 2020.
Their pigments are absorbing harmful ultraviolet light, converting it into less dangerous wavelengths.
Night on Earth is a nature documentary series created by Francis Casey and Bill Markham. Following the simple yet extremely effective premise that its title already promises, Night on Earth is a series that follows the most different, exotic, and purely exciting animals and places around the globe when darkness hits. Made possible by the newest camera technology, we can get insight into nature spectacles that are invisible to the human eye. Until now, with a once-in-a-lifetime experience of nature's greatest treasures.
Speeding up time reveals their deadly secret. Stinging tentacles that catch minuscule creatures floating by.
Number 3. Down to Earth with Zac Efron, 2020.
We've ducked into the shelter to meet Danya Licia as she prepares batawa milk, made from palm fruits.
Down to Earth with Zac Efron is a documentary series created by Darren Olean, showing your favorite childhood star from a totally different angle. This documentation focuses on the literally down-to-earth character of a superstar, as well as modern issues like global warming. Together, we travel to the most exotic places on Earth to witness the true beauty of nature and its power to overcome the greatest challenges. Along the way, you'll get to know an icon as you never could before.
This is actually, nutritionally, is very similar to human milk.
So instead of us eating cow's milk that doesn't really equate to our digestive system, the ratios are off.
Man, I'm excited for this. And where was this gathered at?
In the forest, someone climbed yesterday.
Number 2. The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez, 2020.
So we transfer all the care over. Then they wheel him out to Children's Hospital in LA.
And at that point, does he have a pulse?
Yes.
The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez is a true crime documentary series created by Brian Knappenberger. In this haunting documentary miniseries, we are given the one and only insight into the terrifying trial of Gabriel, a young boy who got brutally murdered and abused in California. By packing insight and unbelievable truth, we get eye-opening insight into politics and society as protests explode following the horrifying injustice that happened to the young boy, and how people can affect the system for good.
I just remember that night thinking, I just can't. I just can't. I just remember saying that. I just can't. Like, I can't wrap my head around this. I can't wrap my head around how it got to this.
Before we unveil TV show number 1, here are some honorable mentions.
I'm looking at the monitors and I'm like, that's my room. That's the massage room. That's my shower. That's my toilet. That's everyone else's toilet in the house. That's everyone else's shower in the house. That's every single corner of that house was monitored.
The mob had a lot of power because we control the unions. We call it a strike with the Teamsters. 2.5 million people stopped working. You control the unions, you control the Teamsters, you control the docks, you control the country.
Number 1. The Last Dance, 2020.
Everyone kind of acknowledged we're in a new era. Michael Jordan was the alpha.
The Last Dance is a sports documentary miniseries created by Jason Herer. This undeniably interesting docuseries focuses on one of sports' greatest legends, Michael Jordan. Supported by rare and one-of-a-kind behind-the-scenes footage of the sports industry, The Last Dance takes our hands and guides us through a breathtaking world of honor, passion, and the strong will to fight till you dropped your last tear and sweat.
He won the slam dunk competition, and he was a defensive player of the year.
Up court pass stolen by Jordan. Michael Jordan takes it coast to coast. Woo!
That's greatness, you know. I mean, he was now the best player.
Do you agree with our list? Please let us know in the comments. If you want to know more about a particular TV show in this list, you can check out our links in the video description. And for more top 10 TV show videos, be sure to subscribe to communiTV.